AIU crew, what up? It's been about a week since I did an Atheism is Unstoppable video. The man puts out a ton of content, and it's I gotta be kind of selective about which one I ape and when I put it out because I don't want to, do one of the fan ones where I won't have a lot of content or commentary to add to it. And well, it's recently come out that the lady behind the Brock Turner situation is dropping a book, and she's doing all of this publicity right now. She wants to put her name out there. And if you recall, the Brock Turner situation is where the young man was given a lenient sentence by a judge, and the nation kind of freaked out and was like, oh, how dare this white boy get this get all that privilege and stuff like that. And I won't lie, during at the time I was like, okay, wait, for doing what? But I had listened to the narrative that the media had woven, as it is with a lot of things. And one of the reasons why this channel exists is because the media, the people that we get our information from, well, they have bosses, and their bosses have agendas, and hey, make this sound this way, make this sound that way. And as a man, as particularly as a black man who has seen so many of my friends and family railroaded in the media, in print as well as online. I've had one of my brothers. He got into a bit of a circumstance, and by the time the media was done, they made him sound like a freaking kingpin. So, and it was far from the case. So, realizing that the media as a reason for doing as it does is one of the things that really drew me to Devin Tracy's content, and one of the first, I guess, breaking points as far as my, trust in him as a content creator was with Brock Turner. Because after checking out his content and being like, oh, wait, that's what really happened, it's like, oh, wow, they completely just ran this guy's name through the mud and really just like wrecked him for publicity, for, virtue signaling, and for points, when in reality the situation was much different than they made it seem. And now that the young lady is putting out a book, Mr. Tracy is back on it, and that gives me an opportunity to talk about it as well. So let's go.
Bastard, hope you've had a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it.
I've always been curious what happened to Butthead. I wonder if he's still in touch with Beavis.
Okay. A, that's hilarious. B, if you're unfamiliar with who Philip DeFranco is, quick TLDR, been on the platform for forever and a day, is actually he has like millions of subs, and is a trusted name amongst the amongst like people who use the platform. Like, there's a lot of people who go to him for news, information, and they're expecting something unbiased and straight down the line, when in reality Mr. DeFranco has plenty of times allowed his own personal opinion and views to determine where he lands on certain topics and whatnot, what have you. So it's kind of like, there's this whole thing with BetterHelp, as well as what was that other situation? Because with the BetterHelp thing, I'm not even sure if that even got cleared up. But yeah, Mr. DeFranco is questionable.
And that story is around Brock Turner, who some in the media have called an ex-Stanford swimmer, others calling rapist Brock Turner, others saying registered sex offender Brock Turner.
Yeah, I call him innocent victim and target of hateful mob violence and totally unjustified vitriol from the outer world. I call him Angel. I call him a hero. I call him a talented French kisser, a great swimmer, a man who knows his way around a breaststroke. I call him the future president. But yeah, why would you call him a rapist when he didn't rape anyone? And as far as registered sex offender, yeah, that's bullshit too. He should not have been found guilty. There was no evidence against him. Fight me. I've already done multiple videos on this, and it's kind of awkward because I know you're sitting there going, wait, Devin, I'm pretty sure he sexually assaulted someone, and I think she was unconscious. Well, have you dived into the research? Did you hear the statements?
He did. And when he did, he was like, wait, he put it out there in those videos that he mentioned and I mentioned before. And one of the reasons, like I said, I got drawn into his content. And really, it's really kind of insane how they took, they took what was them. They had actually met on the dance floor. Like, it's not like he found her behind the dumpster, because that's, like, I guess the prevailing thought when it comes to the Brock Turner situation is that, oh yeah, this white boy just ran across this chick behind a dumpster. And I guess, was that Freddy versus Jason, when the guy ran across the unconscious chick on the floor, and Jason came through and killed and murdered both of them. But either way, yeah, no, what had happened was they'd met out on the dance floor. They started making out on the dance floor, and he was trying to get it back to the crib, and they just ended up on the behind a dumpster, just going at it. But she blacked out, and these other guys had come up behind him and was like, oh wait, what are you doing there? And they started like white knighting and being like, oh, how dare you, this woman. And then
garbage. I did it. I read the statements. The do-gooders, the Euro trash who came across the scene, they thought they were white knighting a girl who didn't need to be white knighted. And they said, well, she was unresponsive when we found her, so therefore what? Therefore she was unresponsive the whole night? No. Not logical. Swedish guys? Sorry, you're not heroes. You did nothing. She consented. Put it this way, there's never even a moment in the story where she says no or resists. It's none of that. The only case that she's making is, hey, it's rape or it's sexual assault because I drank. Do you think that's the precedent that should be set? This is a non-case. This is a witch.
No, that isn't the precedent that should be set. And honestly, it extends further out than that. Because if you look at a lot of these, like, HR departments, it's like, oh, well, what did you intend? Like, they, like what intent matters for nothing. It just, how did the person feel is the only thing that they need in order to just, like, terminate somebody. Like, oh, he made me feel some kind of way. Not, hey, did you mean for it to be felt that kind of way? No. It's all in how that person felt. So trust me, the dangerous precedent has been set for a long time.
And you know the social benefit I get for standing up for Brock Turner? There's none. None. Aside from the fact that I can look at myself in the mirror and know that I was on the right side of yet another issue. It's an unpopular...
Well, you know what? I'm making a video, bro. So, I'm giving you some recognition for, putting out the real good story. So, my man, good job.
You want to join me? Brock Turner 2020. Okay? We're selling t-shirts.
And understandably, in the past,
Yeah, I ain't going that far, though.
been the focal point of his story. One, because of the horrific act he inflicted upon another.
Well, horrific act? What are you, dry humping? What horrific act? Slow down, by the way. Jump cut. Good Lord. The guy's in a hurry to get to the next sentence because if he slows down, you realize, wait a minute, this man is an obnoxious, untalented gargoyle.
And two, for what I and many others consider a miscarriage of justice due to his light sentencing. Brock Turner was, of course, convicted of felony sexual assault.
He shouldn't have been.
But was only sentenced to 6 months in jail and ended up only actually serving 3 months.
Right, first-time offender for a minor misdemeanor? So you want years of jail time. So you want a totally different standard because...
He wants his pound of flesh, bro.
You don't like the smell of this case? Or is this just your virtue signal to say rape bad? Excuse me, sir, he didn't rape anybody, wasn't even accused of it. Yeah, but rape is still bad. Okay, but he was hooking up with the girl consensually. They were both drinking. It was a...
But here's the thing. Our educational system in this country is so just terrible that words cease to, like words that shouldn't be synonyms are synonyms, like oh my goodness, the fingering the chick in the park, rape, you still penetrated, all these other things, it just all wraps in together in a lot of people's minds, and it's very easy to paint a vivid picture for someone, and so they're just like, oh, this sounds terrible, my goodness, and don't really give it much more thought.
College party. Yeah, but she was unconscious. Yeah, everyone ends their night unconscious. It's called sleep. Yeah, but there was a dumpster. So? It was Stanford. Look at this is Stanford's campus. Look in the background. Yeah, sometimes they have to throw the trash away. There's a dumpster. He didn't put her in the dumpster. Okay, this next to a dumpster thing is a little bit overblown. They're acting like he was Oscar the Grouch. He wasn't.
Seemingly because the judge was worried about Brock Turner's future.
Yeah, how dare the judge, when handing out prison sentences to teenagers, how dare he consider the impact of his sentence on a first-time offender for a minor offense? An offense he was innocent of, by the way.
And as some of you might remember, Brock Turner's father was arguing for probation rather than jail time because, quote, that is a steep price to pay for 20 minutes of action out of his 20-plus years of life. And while we were able to...
I remember people just completely losing their shit when he said that. Like, 20 minutes of action? Oh! Like, yo, from everything that's been, put out there, like, she doesn't even remember any of it because she was drinking that heavily. And I think it's going to be brought up in momentarily that she had a boyfriend at the time. So... even if she was drinking, she was making out with this dude that wasn't her boyfriend, and she was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to run with this.
The words of the story of this young woman who was sexually assaulted, we never knew her name. She was referred to as Emily Doe.
Emily Ho.
Brock Turner's victim.
Oh, the adulteress. Yeah, what about her?
But the big update to this story is that has changed. Chanel Miller, the young woman in this story, has now revealed her identity.
Okay, so I gotta ask, and I skipped over this because I was thinking it during the beginning, but does she really look like a Chanel Miller? Like, I mean, seriously, like, if you were casting her in something, would Chanel Miller be the name that you give her character? I'm not trying to be, like, a dick or anything else like that, because this is America, baby, by all means. But just if I were casting something, like, no, that I'd definitely be more ethnic with the name, definitely. Like, quick side story. A friend of mine, he had his wife. We were like in our late 20s, and his wife, she was in her late 20s too, but she looked way older, right? And they're Mexican, and she's like, and her name was Melissa, but she looked like somebody's abuelita, She did not look like her name was Melissa. And I'm talking to my boy. I'm like, really? Her name's Melissa? Like, what? Like, she just doesn't look like. What does her name look? What does she look like? Her name looks like? And I'm like, Lupe? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, it's just, it's an amazing thing. Not the crack jokes, but either ways.
And is speaking out.
She was Asian? Well, that kind of puts a dent in the fuck white people, he's a white supremacist kind of vibe. I mean, Brock was engaging in diversity. His makeout session was our strength.
And among what we've now seen, you had Chanel reading her victim impact statement where she was addressing the court, but also specifically Brock Turner.
I'm waiting for Brock's victim impact statement because he's the victim of this case.
You don't know me, but you've been inside me.
Actually, Chanel, he does know you. He met you at a party when you talked and flirted and danced and kissed each other. And you've been inside him, okay? Your tongue was inside of his mouth. So you don't know Brock, and yet you've been inside him. And by the way, inside of me, what is this? Let's not get overdramatic. He fingered you. It's not an emotional connection that was made. He performed an oil check, okay? Tap the brakes.
I mean, real talk. There's reason that we have statutes and stuff, because like one isn't as bad as the other. Let's be real.
Newspapers. My name was unconscious, intoxicated woman.
Yes, Chanel, they did that to protect you and your privacy and not humiliate you publicly or violate your personal life in any way. That was to protect you. But now you come forward. I wonder why. What is the answer to 9 out of 10 questions? Fingered. No, it's money. And that's what she's doing this for. She's here to make money. 60 Minutes did a whole interview. It's coming out later this month on the 20th of September. On the 22nd of September, she's dropping a book. The book is for sale. You can pre-order it now. She's here to make money.
10 syllables and nothing.
Cash out. I mean, it is the American way, right? Get that money. Get the paper. But we also know and realize that there's a media that is eager to, capitalize on this, having this narrative in which to push, like, man bad, particularly white man bad, and women the vulnerable creature, and just all of these other things, you know, like just like the the big wide-eyed, puppy-eyed, oh, it's just so precious. Like she cannot be you know, like she cannot be tainted. Her white dress cannot be tainted.
More than that, I had to force myself to relearn my real name, my identity.
You forgot your name? Is this early onset Alzheimer's? I love this. Like, oh, the media was cruel to me. Why? Because it didn't go into, like, my favorite colors and the fact that I like ponies. And wait, it was better for you that you were left out of this. And if you want to talk about mistreatment by the media, look no further than Mr. Brock Turner, the true one and only victim of this situation, Brock Turner. Devin Tracy supports Brock Turner. Bold statement. That is refreshingly bold. I heard it myself and I was like, Jesus, Devin, are you sure you want to say that? Yeah, I do.
See, here's the thing. I wasn't there regardless, so I ain't about to say him like, oh yeah, let's support Brock Turner. Nah. But I will say, like, he does deserve the benefit of the doubt. And if, like, even if within her statements, she's like, no, he wasn't, like, you just got finger tops. Like, not to belittle it or anything else like that, but you guys had met at the party. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just over dramatized for the theatrics of it all. You know, and it's just like watching the debates and stuff. It's just theatrics, man. Like, they all are just awful. So it's like, but there's people that just need to play the game. There's people that, like, really are like, oh my goodness, yes, Bernie really has a chance, or Warren has a chance, or or Biden has a chance. Guys, come on, man. Come on. You cannot be that foregone. But, no, they are into it, man. They're like, yeah, we really have a shot. Kamala Harris, she's a great, what's her name? I mean, you guys saw the videos that I did back with Charlamagne the God and stuff like that, and it's just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how hard people are willing to rock with narratives that suit their worldview or suit their perspective, instead of saying, hey, wait a second, something smells like bullshit.
I want to go down to history with him. Laurel and Hardy, Thelma and Louise, Devin and Brock.
To relearn that this is not all that I am, that I am not just a drunk victim at a frat party found behind a dumpster.
Dude. Oh God, the dumpster. How about trees? There's trees and grass all over the place. There's a bench nearby. What is the obsession with the dumpster? Enough already.
Well, that's because it makes it sound just so dirty and disgusting. It's about the imagery. If you really want to know, Devin, it's about the imagery. It's about painting that picture of this little vulnerable woman that was just taken by this savage, brutal man. You know, I mean, I can guarantee there's probably some chicks that flick the beans of this.
You're not just a drunk victim? Yeah, you weren't a victim at all. And as far as you being drunk and being a girl from the frat party, that's what you were. You went to a frat party and got drunk.
Well, you are the all-American swimmer at a top university.
Sorry for him being a great swimmer at a top university. What is the objection? Relevance?
Innocent until proven guilty, with so much at stake.
Are you actually calling into question the whole innocent until proven guilty thing?
Yeah, she is. They don't give a shit about that, dude. Like, as far as evidence and proof, that literally helps them in no way, shape, or form. So why would they ever want it, you know? It's like with the politicians. Like, politicians make their bones off of things like the drug war that have ultimately destroyed these communities and these peoples. But so why would they ever decide to tear down the thing that they look to build themselves up upon? Right?
That was weird. Did you just try to undermine the foundation of our judicial system?
No, because guess what? They've been doing this for forever and a day. And by they, I basically mean anybody that's not me for the most part, because I don't know what people do as individuals, but I am saying that there is forces at work and people and things at play that You know, like, yeah, that, you know, screw what's name that used the power of perception and power of public opinion to, you know, get their way and get their opponents and the people that they despise crushed. You know, not much different than Beto O'Rourke and his guns idea.
You cannot give me back the life I had.
Yeah, and you cannot give him back the life he had and unsully his reputation. And trust me, he doesn't want to be the unsullied, because that would mean he'd have no penis, which would make it hard to dry hump.
Along with this, we also learned that Miller is going to be releasing a memoir called Know My Name.
A memoir. Memoirs from a geisha. Really, a memoir. It's a manifesto of victimhood. She's a professional victim. And she's going to come forward and say, oh God, isn't it so brave? Oh yes, Chanel. Bravo to you. You did it. You profiteered.
I'm still just like, Chanel? Like, it just, like, yikes.
Off your own bullshit victimhood. You ruined a man's life and you made money off it. And she's going to sell this book to the tune of, she's going to be a millionaire. And I put this question to you. Like,
she got the money. She I'm pretty sure she got a nice chunk of change up front. I mean, they've been waiting on this. The book's probably been written for forever and a day now. From the moment that, from like 2 weeks after the whole incident began, that book was already written, bruh. Like, trust. Like, I can't help but feel like that's the case. Like, they were waiting for this opportunity. Things died down. Now, oh my goodness, now we have this other. Now we have another one in the chamber where, yes, we can bring the Brock Turner thing back up.
it's tough. What was her other job? What was her life like? What was her financial situation? It doesn't matter. It was probably somewhere in the middle, somewhere okay. But if someone said to you, hey, I'll pay you to write a book. I'll pay you. So the book could sell nothing. You're still making massive profit. But you're going to get a share.
Yeah, it's like what is golly, a bonus? Not a bonus, but you know the contract, like what's in the contract, the upfront money in the contract. I mean, yeah, she got paid a healthy sum, and with a pre-written narrative and everything. Shoot, she's probably ghostwritten on this one.
Of the profits of a book, and you have every expectation that you're about to become a millionaire. Would you write that book? Would you go on that book tour? Would you do this interview? Of course you would. And all the yentas out there and the cat ladies and the wine ladies are going to be like, oh my God, she's beautiful and empowered. I can't.
He's 100% correct on this. On The View and To Talk and all those other ridiculous ass shows where they need the female gynocentric matriarchal type mentality to fluster and flourish. What's the name? Yeah, they'll be sitting there just giving her props. Oh my goodness, she's so strong. All this that happened to her. She was attacked. She was beaten. Oh my goodness, she's so strong. She's so powerful. Why? Because this is the type of thing that the media does. They need to keep that image alive.
She came forward. This woman was not violated at all. She needed a way to get out of the fact that she cheated on her boyfriend. She drank that night. She consented that night. She never didn't consent that night. There's no accusation here. This is a victimless crime. It's worse than that. It's a victimless act of sexuality on campus. That's it. There is no crime.
But here's the thing, Devin. A lot of the people let's speak of the like the yuntas and the cat ladies that you talk about, what have you. A lot of them, like, you know, their experience isn't it's females. They're women. They have different brains, bro. It doesn't operate the way a logical functioning one does. In particular, when, you know, many of them couldn't quite understand or couldn't quite get how you know, you can party, particularly the older ones, how, you know, college ended up being in a lot of cases where, like, yo, you get drunk, get up, like, it is what it is. Like, yo, like, trust me, I've been on the dance floors myself. I know. Like, it is what it is, man. Shoot, sweatbox
Here. And if you think this is just going off a whim or a gut feeling, I've read all the statements, and there ain't many. Her statement is, I drank at a party, I forget what happened next, the end. And now here's my poem.
And that's the thing. There's a ... Like, particularly when it comes to women. The details are they're one of the go-tos when it comes to females is well, you know, one thing led to another. Like, no, one thing doesn't just lead to another. And like, yo, like you sat there and somebody made a play and you guys got down, and it is what it is. Don't sit there, but the ... like, oh yeah, well, you know, we were just sitting there and, you know, ... it, like, things happened, you know, like the feigning of amnesia, particularly in the throes of passion, is a go-to move, man. It really is.
Amy. That's her story. So where's the accusation coming from? The Swedish guys who rolled in and were like, hey, there's a girl who looks groggy and out of it. Yeah, it's at the end of a night of drinking. And nothing happened here. There's nothing wrong with Brock Turner. If anything, there's something wrong with Brock's parents for naming him Brock.
To come.
Whoa. I mean, you got Brock from Pokemon. You got Brock Lesnar. Brock's not a terrible name. Dick.
Out September 24th, and I personally love that she is doing this. I think, unfortunately and incorrectly, there is this sense of, even with how detested Brock Turner is, that there's this sense of shame of being a victim.
No, the shame is that you are such a moron, butthead, that you think she's the victim. Brock is the victim.
You know, Chanel Miller also said something in an essay that I think is very true. Victims are not victims, not some fragile, sorrowful aftermath. Victims are survivors, and survivors are going to be doing a hell of a lot more than surviving.
Yeah, because literally nothing happened to you, and you're now just gonna become a millionaire, cynically, even though...
You know, I hate to cut you off there, but that statement's just ridiculous. Victims are survivors, and survivors are going to be doing a hell of a lot more than surviving. Then, it's so damn ridiculous. Like, it's such rhetoric. It's such nonsense. It's just talk for the sake of talk. You know, like, they all got this story to tell that they swear is gonna, change the fucking world? It's not. Like, you want to change the world via legislation, then change the real ones. Focus our legislation on good things, as opposed to, you know, this nonsense.
You know full well nothing happened to you, aside from the fact that you took part in the lynch mob that ruined a man's life, and continues to do so. You should all be ashamed of yourself.
I think her taking control of the situation, putting her name out there, being the face of it, it's an inspiring and impressive showcase of power to reclaim the situation.
Yeah.
Dude, Franco, man. The Franco is, like, he really is just a puppeteer, man. He's a puppet. And it's cool. I mean, he earned the position to be a puppet because he's been on the platform for so long. I mean, make your money, my dude. Do what you gotta do. But that plus the whole Ilana thing, where he started boosting, like, you know, their, like the establishments, like, stuff. You know, it is what it is. Get your money, my guy.
Here's him kissing ass, just total queef huffing. Yeah, isn't it great? She's so brave. She's not going to let it stop her. Oh yeah, and cha-ching, right? She's going to profit off of it. I'm sure it'll all go to charity. Oh yeah.
That's the thing. It's about the paper. It's about capitalism, man. When you get an opportunity, capitalize on it. Now, are they full of shit? Of course. But given an opportunity, hey.
Didn't hear that part of the story, did we? Oh, break off a little bit. Take a little percentage and send it to some victim whatever club. But the rest of it, yeah, let's put that in a trust fund.
And not only for her situation, but as a way to let others know that they are not weak, they are not alone. And that is...
Yeah, she's the Joan of Arc for victims around the world. As if we need this. And by the way, this spits. Just a sickening loogie. Spits in the face of actual victims of actual sex crimes. And there are people out there who do put in good work, who speak on behalf of victims. One of those people is Trisha Miley, the victim of the gang rape from the blacks and Puerto Ricans in Central Park. Not all of them, only...
Yeah, he dropped the other part to that one, man. Whew, that is a real serious series. He's going in.
7 of them around there. So she's going out and actually putting in good work. This is a grift from a Me Too profiteer.
That's why, Chanel Miller, you are our BAMF of the day. And also, As always, fuck Brock Turner.
Wow, God, look at this quirky. It's not quirky, he's quirky. Fuck Brock Turner? No, fuck you, Philip DeFranco.
Pretentious. He's a pretentious, condescending douchebag. I mean, for the most part. Let's be real. I mean, it doesn't take much to pump up such a gentleman's ego, and he's a bit pretentious. He's a bit of a dick. So it is what it is.
Go. God, what a putz. Eat a dick.
But he's also one of yours. I mean, ambassador of the white class.
The woman who delivered a powerful statement about her sexual assault.
She looked like this crazy combination of throwback Toni Braxton and I'm feeling like a little Jennifer Hudson in the eyes. But either ways, yeah, definitely 35% of my goodness, gorgeous.
By a Stanford student and gave voice to survivors nationwide is now coming forward.
The woman who leached.
And as she speaks, it's kind of like, oh, wait a second. Okay, let's go.
Off of her inexplicable 15 minutes of fame as a fake victim, is now trying to hustle you out of a bunch of money and pretend like she speaks on behalf of actual victims.
Previously known only as Emily Doe, Chanel Miller is sharing her
Is that black reporter invading her private space? I think her personal bubble is being violated.
story with 60 Minutes correspondent Bill Whitaker. She's written a memoir set to be published later this month. It expands on her victim impact statement that was viewed 11 million times in just 4 days after it was posted online.
See, that's the thing, though. I mean, the views, the clicks, everything else like that, you can astroturf that, man. That's just the power of media. That's the power of, having these types of bubbles and circles throughout, internet, Reddit, Twitter, all these other different outlets. I mean, let's be real.
Many who shared the letter said her words inspired them to come forward with their own stories.
Stories. Keyword.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of them have been turning out to be complete nonsense and BS.
Stories. And once again, her story, all of this bullshit poetry you're about to hear is just aftermath. It's just, how can I grapple with the fact that I got drunk and cheated on my boyfriend, and then now I'm lying about being victimized or raped? He raped me with a dumpster. So it's just her processing feelings. There's no crime here.
You cannot give me back the life I had.
3 years after her words became a national rallying cry for survivors of sexual assault, Chanel Miller is showing her face for the first time.
I give her 2 years before she's into porn. Paging Tanya Harding.
60 Minutes recorded her reading her 12-page impact statement where she spoke of the importance of reclaiming her life.
I had to force myself to relearn my real name, my identity, to relearn that this is...
Okay, so, and that's the thing, no one knew what your real name or what your identity was. If I walked across, if I saw you in the middle of the street, I'm like, oh, hi, Asian chick, and I definitely wouldn't think your name was Chanel Miller. I'm not gonna guess, I'm not gonna sit here and speculate as to what I would assume her name to be. Just Chanel Miller is not on the top of that list, okay? But either way, sweetheart, no one took any, I want to say no one took anything from you because you were, at the center of this, but at the same time, darling, you, as far as, anybody, myself included, concerned, I didn't know who you were. No one knew who you were. You're the one that's stepping out and being all bold and brave now, but it really didn't. If you're saying here talking about, oh yeah, what you had to relearn, what do you mean? You're not even coming out of a coma, like in Kill Bill or anything else like that. You got drunk, got fingered, and woke up safe, and then the next morning, I mean, it's. I'm not trying to belittle or take away from anything you may have felt, but I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, it could have been worse, right? It's just a little perspective, look at it, just angle, probably about 30, 40 degrees the other direction. Look at it from right there and be like, oh, wait, it could have been worse.
That I am.
Miller first read these words back in 2016 at a sentencing hearing for her assailant, Brock Turner. He was found guilty of 3 counts of felony sexual assault. Turner attacked Miller behind it.
Attacked? Turner attacked Miller. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Is this news? This is news, isn't it? Oh my God, the migraine is pulsating. Wait, you're telling me he laid in wait behind the dumpster and waited for this innocent Asian angel to come stumbling out of a frat party, and then he attacked her? What are you talking about? He had a consensual hookup with a woman he met at a party and danced with and talked to and kissed. Go ask the people. Go read the statements. There's not a single shred of evidence that says he attacked her in any way.
Dumpster at a college.
And not to be that guy, but Asian chicks really do like white guys. It really is like just a white on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like it's reality.
Frat party while she was passed out. To
Yo, so he attacked her while she was passed out? Do you see how it just loose and easy with the story? Why would someone attack someone who's passed out? What are you talking about?
Good Samaritans intervened.
Good Samaritans. Oh my God. It's nauseating.
In newspapers, my name was unconscious, intoxicated woman.
Yeah, that's what you were.
10 syllables and nothing more than that.
Many were angered after Judge Aaron Persky sentenced Turner to just 6 months in county jail when
I can't believe they went after the judge. How sickening is that?
he could have faced up to 14 years behind bars.
No, in what world is he facing 14 years? Absolute horrendous reporting, total fabrication.
Millions read Miller's powerful words about her assault.
It was a pivotal moment. It focused
This face is an assault to me.
our attention not only on the devastation of sexual violence, but on the difficulties of pursuing a case through the criminal.
And that's the thing. Listen to the words that they're saying. Like, he went on the attack, right? On the word attack. But devastation as well. The dumpster. It's the picture that they have painted. You know, it's like what they've done is they've carefully weaved and painted this picture of this beauty being destroyed by this beast, and that beast being masculinity, in which Mr. Turner represents, and the beauty being the femininity and the vulnerability of femininity, which the Miss Miller represents.
Justice system.
Her statement also led California to pass minimum sentencing requirements for sexual assault cases. And last year, voters recalled Persky, the first such action in more than 80 years.
But see, the deal is that from everything that's been brought up, like it was a drunken night out. He hooks up with a girl. It goes haywire. And I feel terrible for kids coming up these days. Man.
She gave voice to the feelings of shame and isolation that so many survivors of sexual violence experience. Now speaking with her name is one farther step toward her healing.
Farther?
Yeah, you know, in that original impact statement, she said that judge lit a tiny fire inside of her because
No, I got a tiny fire lit. I mean, let's be real. Noise.
she wanted other people to feel empowered.
You can tell from that
Yes.
statement and the
Yeah.
way she has taken ownership.
Danny Crawford. Is that you? No. Is Dana Jacobson? Is this Dana Jacobson? I think that's Dana Jacobson. She used to be on Cold Pizza, yo. Yeah, I think I recognize that strong ass chin anyway. Hey, how you been? Oh man, I don't watch this crappy shit in the morning, so it's like I don't be knowing where these people be landing. Oh man, I remember she was on Cold Pizza. She was a lot of fun back then. Now they're just like, you know, once again painting that picture that the media wants to paint. I mean, it's sad. It really is sad. But yo, I know you're getting paid well, so I mean, good on you, darling.
Of this idea of I will control the narrative. I will speak for my name.
But that's the thing. No one knew her name, you know. And honestly, okay, I'm definitely putting in the title, like atheism on top. But you know how I do these titles because it is what it is. But with that being said, I think we've talked long enough on this one. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. dislike, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of your sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice, you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and the like, they're not a fan. They're not really into it, but it's okay. I really could just use your help with this. Like, oh, this guy, he's talking about interesting stuff. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Go back and check out his content on Brock Turner, and then, you know, let's hash it out. Or do you think, oh my goodness, hey Jay, this was a waste of my time? Either ways, let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next one,